So, I hope I'm in view. This is like a test, I guess. And I'm new to this whole YouTube thing. Great. So, I'm in view. I've just come out of the shower, so my hair's like air drying and it goes all fluffy and crazy. Anyway, here I am in my studio again. I am introducing myself again after a year or something of saying that I was going to do my new business and take you on the journey, and I didn't. But there's reasons for that, and I'm kind of introducing a whole new thing. I feel like I've been through such an evolution. It's been one new thing after another, after another, after another. But I feel like I've honed my skills now and really like learned a lot these last, it's been 3 years, man. Basically, I want to take you on a bit of the journey that I went on to get to this point. The end goal right now is forgetting the old business. I've moved on. I've learned all I need to learn from that. I'm now just challenging myself to make my own wardrobe, and I can choose things that are secondhand and embroider them or alter them, or plus I'm going to be making my own pieces as well, using different patterns, and I'll talk through which patterns I'm using and what I'm doing. I've actually already created a blouse, so a video should follow with my process in making this blouse. You'll have to bear with me because I am not a video maker. I obviously film making my embroidery or my processes in my making processes. You can see some of the old videos that are on this channel that started with my degree show stuff. I'm like bits and bobs of what I've made, and also my Instagram, which I can link here. Please follow my Instagram. That will show you a bit about who I am as well and what journey I've been on, but I'm going to tell you about that in this video. Hello. Yeah, I really want to get my story straight because I filmed and refilmed because I'm new to YouTube and also making vlogs, and also I've just realised it's quite an important story. Like, my story is about mental health, and how I'm trying to find my creative balance as a maker and also making money. And it's like, I think the balance between trying to make lots of money and mental health is sometimes really difficult. But I want to share with you a bit of my journey because I hope it inspires you and maybe shows you that you can be any age and redirect your career and rethink and just don't get worked up about making mistakes in your career, because I think those are there to help you learn. Where was I at? So I was blabbing on about my goal this year of making my wardrobe. We know that's the goal. And then the other goal this year at the end of not at the end, but at the start of October, is that I and my boyfriend together are going traveling. And it's a big goal of mine to kind of look at different cultures and their way of dressing and their different fabrics and their different craftsmanship, and just learn and then absorb it all and then do something with it at the end. So traveling is going to be a big part of this vlog story, my life story. My life story. Oh, 21st century extra stuff that. Yeah, anyway, so yeah, that's the goal as well, is travels, and I'm very excited to go to India, Nepal, where else? Japan, lots of places marked on the map. Anyway, so, and I can do a whole video about the plan and what we're doing to plan for it and packing and all of that later. But anyway, keeping to my points. So like that ties into folkwear because in my view, different cultures have had different kind of folkwear across the ages. Like folk design to me is like a universal term for like anyone's design. So like the way I would look at folkwear is like an Indian sari, you know, like it's ancient and it's been part of culture's history and it's worn by anyone and everyone in India maybe. And it has elements of block printing and embroidery. All of these things, like, I feel can describe folkwear. But I'll break down folkwear in a whole video and do what folkwear means to me and talk a bit about my degree, dissertation, and what I wrote about slow and fast fashion and like what books I looked at because I have a great many books that I'd like to recommend. Anyway, so yeah, traveling, blah blah, but I don't think I unpacked properly in any of the videos I've done so far how I got up to this point, and it to be honest it was a tough like story. Like COVID hit in 2019 and like I finished my degree and it was probably a really hard time to finish a degree because there was no jobs, there was no like hopefulness. I felt very trapped because ultimately I wanted to go like traveling after I finished uni, so I feel like this has been a long time in the coming, the traveling goal. So yeah, so that happened. And then I felt like my hands were tied, so I kind of like found myself a self-employed kind of nannying job, just like low-key part-time, and then actually created a brand, even though my mental health was really bad. And some people might say that it was like a good thing that I did that. I didn't really look at it as a good thing I did that. I think what I should have done is like everyone was like talking about being slow and like taking time for you, and I really didn't feel like I had the energy to do a brand, but I did it. Take what you will from that. Like I did it, but I wasn't extremely happy in doing it. So yeah, so I lived and learned through that design brand. Like, so it was a children's brand. I created a children's brand to start with, and it was through the New Enterprise Scheme, which was part of Universal Credit. So that was part of me feeling like my hands were tied. And yeah, so I had to create this brand, and then I did it, and it was like quite forced, and it was quite like jolting and like not naturally flowing. Anyway, created products. I mean, I still made products and I created work, so I guess I have like a really good portfolio of work now of various things. I made toys, I made quilts for kids, used lots of popping colours like inspired by the Mediterranean and like shipyards and boats and sails, and explored abstract shape and different techniques. Anyway, and then that brand kind of shifted, the shift of the brand went into like adults interiors or family interiors. So I still was taking on like commissions for quilts for kids or whatever, but I was also trying out making adults quilts and adults interiors and art work, because really I love artwork, and like it's one of my big things. I love creating art, and I think for a textile designer that kind of goes hand in hand. You create artwork for textiles, but art is basically any surface, I feel. Like, does that make sense? Not really. It could be on a canvas, artwork could be on a product, like, I don't know, a champagne box, or it could be, art is everywhere, let's just say that. And there is no, I feel, barrier to where it could be used. Anyway, so Yeah, so I did that, and I did my, you know, I did my brand shifted, and I did really well. I got commissions, I did markets, I was really gaining confidence. And then I decided that I needed to get a real job because I peer pressured myself into feeling like I hadn't really achieved much, even though I really had, but it wasn't paying a great deal, and I really needed a change, and I really needed a shift. So I started work as a support worker in a nursery, which carried over very well from the nannying I'd done. And then from that, I then went into a primary school and worked with the same ages. And I think the mistake was that I was not working. I really wanted to teach, but I just didn't really want to teach that age. And I think it's taken me a while to figure that out, but here I am. And yeah, my mental health got really, really bad. Because I don't think I was suited. I mean, each time I kind of moved on from the jobs within 3 months. So really, and that sounds really bad, but actually I think if a job's not suited to you and you know you're not right for it, there is no shame in moving on, finding something else. The last job I've had now after the primary school is a cafe job, and even then, the particular cafe I was at, I was not happy. So, you know, it's a hard thing. And I encourage people, if they are not happy in their workspace right now, there are so many jobs out there. You should be confident in yourself and your ability and move on. So I'm just going to show you up close my embroidered piece that I've got from a secondhand. I think everyone's got one of these shackets right now, and this one kind of looks a bit like a medical overall, so I was like, or like a doctor's thing, and I was like, well, I want to zhuzh it up, so I've done some couching here. I'm just showing you. But anyway, yeah, when I bought it, it was £15, and I think that's quite pricey, really. But it is a big bit of canvas, so I felt like it was like my art canvas. So I've got my art book here, which I've been sketching. I've recently kind of invigorated my love for folk shapes and embroidery. I mean, Matisse is like the goal, right? That's Matisse, one of his little paper cuts, and I think what I was going for is that kind of like applique, yeah, embroidery, of trying to get shape from using thread in a way that's like, this is going to be like a little, these are some beads that I've woven together, like I've got that kind of bead weaving thing going on. Yeah, so I've been looking at those kind of shapes, and yeah, I've been trying to figure out plans for like quilted jackets and folk blouses and essential pieces of wear that I'll use a lot. So very basic pieces. I might have a crack at making tops, like t-shirt tops, but I think I'm gonna need to just like take my time and not rush the process of learning to make clothes, because it is a chore. And just as a wee goodbye, I'm just going to show you Lilo. She's my little 9-month-old kitten, and we've loved having you in the studio, and we'll hope to see you soon in the next video. Bye for now.